घोषणा की, सिंबल देना शुरू किया, सबने सोशल मीडिया पर पोस्ट भी किया सारे नेताओं ने, तो हमारे यहाँ कहीं कंफ्यूजन की स्थिति नहीं है.
But what is fueling more heat is the seat-sharing formula within the NDA. As per the seat-sharing deal, BJP and JDU will contest 101 seats each, while Chirag Paswan's LJP has been given 29 and 6 each to HAM and Upender Kushwaha's RLM. This arithmetic has made some key takeaways crystal clear. For the first time since their alliance began, JDU has ceded the big brother position and is now on equal footing with the BJP. Moreover, Chirag Paswan's growing clout means JDU's preeminence is under renewed scrutiny. Sources say he's being seen as the BJP's new Dalit face in Bihar. The LJP leader's significant seat share thus sends a clear message.
हमारा गठबंधन बीजेपी से है, फ्रैंकली हमारे उनके बीच में मतभेद नहीं है. बाकी एलजेपी, हम और कुशवाहा जी की पार्टी की सीटों की तालमेल बीजेपी के साथ है, एंड होपफुली दे आर डूइंग इट.
HAM chief Jitin Ram Manjhi has also released the party's first list, while biting down unhappiness over being allotted just 6 seats. But it is not just the NDA facing friction. The Congress-RJD alliance is also caught in a tug of war. Congress is demanding 61 to 63 seats, but RJD has refused to part with a few key constituencies including Kahalgaon, Narkatiyaganj and Waris Aliganj. Earlier, multiple RJD candidates were called to Rabri Devi's residence and handed party symbols right in the middle of Congress-RJD negotiations in Delhi. Sources say the Congress is upset, claiming it was sidelined while candidates were finalized in Patna.
ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है, अभी कोई विलम्ब नहीं हुआ है. अभी हम लोग की बैठक है, बराबर बातचीत होती रही है, सब कुछ ठीक है.
CPI-ML has also withdrawn the first list of candidates amid mahagathbandhan seat-sharing delay. With just weeks to go, Bihar's alliances remain shaky, strategies unclear and egos on edge. One thing is for sure, this election won't just be fought in constituencies, but also within alliances themselves. With Rohit Singh and Shashi Bhushan, Bureau Report, India Today.
And the suspense continues over whether Prashant Kishore will be contesting this upcoming election. What's clear now is that there will be no Tejaswi versus Prashant Kishore clash in Raghopur. Jansuraj has announced its candidate for Raghopur seat, which is where Tejaswi Yadav is fighting from. Chanchal Singh has been confirmed as the candidate for Jansuraj. So PK skipping a direct face-off with Tejaswi Yadav in the RJD turf. No high-voltage clash expected in Raghopur. There was a lot of speculation that Prashant Kishore could choose in his poll electoral debut to face off against Tejaswi Yadav symbolically in Raghopur. But looks like the Jansuraj has decided not to go with PK, choosing Chanchal Singh instead. So the question mark remains of whether PK will contest the election or not, and which seat he will then pick. But let's break down for you tonight what's really happening in the NDA camp and the mahagathbandhan camp. And let's take this one at a time. First, focusing on the NDA. The numbers are clear as far as the seat-sharing deal in the NDA is concerned. You've got the BJP and the JDU each with 101 seats. And there's an important headline there. The fact that the BJP and the JDU have the same number of seats this time. Also, the LJP Ramvilas faction, which is Chirag Paswan's party now, 29 seats being allotted to them. Looking at the strike rate that they managed in the general elections, the others, HAM, RLM, have 6 seats each. It was over this too that there was quite a bit of back and forth with the likes of Kushwaha as well as Manjhi objecting to why Chirag Paswan has way more seats than they do. I'll take in a word from our reporters before we talk about the mahagathbandhan as well. We've got Rohit Singh joining us live from Patna. Piyush Mishra, from Delhi. Piyush, I'm going to come across to you on what's really happening in the NDA camp. Two headlines essentially that stand out for me from those numbers. The fact that you've got the BJP and JDU with the exact number of seats this time, which means that the BJP is kind of positioning itself as being in the same position as the JDU as far as the NDA in Bihar is concerned. The second headline is, of course, Chirag Paswan's numbers.
Well, absolutely, Akshita. I still remember a soundbite which was given by a senior BJP leader in Bihar, where he had mentioned that there is no big or small brother in NDA, and that's what we are also seeing being reflected in the seat sharing, where BJP and JDU are now fighting on equal number of seats. Apart from that, Chirag Paswan's party is going to contest on 29, and Upendra Kushwaha and Akshita Nandagopal, they are going to contest on 6 seats each, which is certainly indicating as to how NDA has decided upon the seat sharing formula. But still, as we are speaking, there are active parleys underway in NDA, because there are various seats on which the NDA allies are still struggling to get hold on. They are discussing on which seat which party is going to have its candidate, and for that a lot of discussions are taking place.
Let me also talk about the mahagathbandhan, and then I'll bring in Rohit also on this broadcast. For the mahagathbandhan, while in the NDA, how many seats has at least been sealed? It's a question of which seats right now. As far as the mahagathbandhan goes, we still don't know what the seat sharing formula is. But here's what sources are telling us, and I'll reiterate that this is what sources are telling us. There's no finalized seat sharing deal just yet. The RJD could get 135 seats. The Congress has been pushing for somewhere between 61 to 63, and it looks like they'll get about 61 seats is what our sources telling us. Mukesh Sahni, who's been in fact lobbying hard at the expense of even making a few enemies within this alliance, could get about 16 seats. As far as the left goes, that's a CPIML, CPI, CPM, 29 to 31. Remember, the CPIML had even released a first list and then went ahead and withdrew that list after it was very clear that the mahagathbandhan hasn't come out with a deal yet. The other issue is about the CM face. Tejaswi Yadav very clearly being portrayed. The Congress, though, hasn't really backed that formula just yet. The other bone of contention is that there's no deputy CM announcement, and unlikely that there will be. So I'll bring in Rohit Singh on that as well. Rohit, time is running out, for the mahagathbandhan. We're seeing about 48 hours to go for, in fact, the nominations to be filed for the first phase. So the mahagathbandhan will have to get their act together. What really is the biggest issue they're facing in coming out with a number with the seat sharing deal itself?
Well, see, there seems to be not only a struggle but a bigger struggle in the mahagathbandhan camp. And as I was telling, as we have always maintained, that NDA has finally managed to keep its flock together, and the house is also getting back to normal. But the mahagathbandhan house right now is in complete chaos, and because of the differences of seat sharing between primarily the RJD and the Congress party, because this time around the Congress party is willing to compromise. It can come down from 70 seats it's contested in 2020 to about 60-62 seats. But what they want this time is that they want those seats where the Congress has a strong foothold. And those are the seats which the RJD basically is not in a mood to give. So that is a sticking point between the RJD and the Congress. And remember, what we are learning from sources, there has been no talk also between Tejaswi Yadav and Rahul Gandhi, because of which the matter has only worsened. However, Lalu Prasad has started distributing symbols to few of the candidates. Few of the candidates have also filed nominations today, what we are learning. And also CPIML today came out with a list of 18 candidates, but it had to withdraw it after there was some pressure from the alliance partners that when there has been no formal announcement on seat sharing, how can you declare your own candidate? So there is a huge chaos going on in the mahagathbandhan. And another important personality in the mahagathbandhan is Mukesh Sahni, who wants that there should be an official declaration, not only a seat sharing, but also a declaration that he will be made the deputy CM. And keeping in mind how unreliable Mukesh Sahni is, neither the Congress nor Tejaswi Yadav are in a mood to declare him as the deputy CM face. So there is a lot of struggle which is going on in the Mahagathbandhan camp. And remember, only 3 days more left for the first phase nomination to get over. And still, no formal seat sharing agreement out, no formal seat distribution list out. That's a big trouble for the Mahagathbandhan at the moment.
Rohit, just 2 quick points. My follow-up question. One, you'd think, looking at the timeline that you mentioned, that the Mahagathbandhan by now would have pressed the panic button. What stopped them from doing that? What's stopping Tejaswi and Rahul Gandhi from speaking and kind of ironing out all differences? Second, or Mukesh Sahni, is there a possibility of a rebellion there?
Well, that's the basic question as to why there is no talks happening between Rahul Gandhi and Tejaswi Yadav. Remember Voter Adhikar Yatra just about a month back, where there was so much friendliness being shown, the bonhomie that was witnessed between Tejaswi Yadav and Rahul Gandhi. But what happens 1 month down the line? They are not even at talking terms, what we are learning. If Rahul Gandhi and Tejaswi Yadav sit and start talking, then things would simply ease out and get resolved. But I think it is not happening at this point of time. So tonight, I think is something big is going to happen. Big with what I want to say is that maybe the RJD, maybe the Congress will come out with its own list of candidates for the first phase. They can put that list out on the social media. But till now, I am not seeing that there could be a formal press conference of the Mahagathbandhan happening maybe tonight or tomorrow also. And each and every party of the Mahagathbandhan may release its own list maybe by tonight or early morning tomorrow, because as I was mentioning, only 3 days left for the first phase nomination to get over. Back to you.
So there could be some big surprise. I hope it's not a sleepless night for you in Patna, Rohit. But we'll wait and watch. Time is running out. And that's why the Congress and RJD could just come out with their own list, is what Rohit is telling us. Thanks very much, Rohit and Piyush, for joining us with all of those details. Okay, joining me here on NewsTrack to decode further what's really playing out in Bihar and the seat-sharing tug-of-war is Amitabh Tiwari, political strategist and commentator. We also have Ashutosh, author and political analyst. Good evening to both of you. Mr. Amitabh Tiwari, I'd like to begin with you. We had a similar discussion last night and today, 24 hours later, as far as the Mahagathbandhan goes, we still don't know exactly what their seat-sharing formula is. And of course, time is running out for them. I just had a conversation with Rohit where he did seem to suggest that perhaps the biggest headache right now and the biggest hurdle for the Mahagathbandhan in going ahead and announcing that seat-sharing deal is Mukesh Sahni, is the VIP. Do you think so too?
No, essentially what is happening in Mahagathbandhan is that with the entry of VIP, and with its demand for 30-35 seats, even as you are showing almost 16 seats, who will give up that seats? Because left is also arm twisting for a higher number of seats, especially CPIML, because they had the best strike rate and they have good control over their vote share or support base in the Shahabad and the Magadh region. So just like in NDA, when LJP has entered, and those 29 seats, 14 of them have come from JDU, 9 from BJP and 6 from the smaller parties, because VIP has switched from NDA to Mahagathbandhan. And also I think the credibility as well as the trust level with Mukesh Sahni is not that high. Yeah. Because we've seen that in different elections, he has contested, or his party has contested with different alliances. Also, he claims to be the leader of Nishad community, which is around 9% of the population, which he claims. However, the Mallah community is only 2.6% of the population. And if he was the real leader of a 9 to 10% vote base, then he would not have been in this situation and he would have been bargaining hard. So that has complicated matters, and this election marks the entry of national parties. When I say entry of national parties, the national parties like the BJP in NDA and the Congress in the Mahagathbandhan are now taking the shots or the calls. Yeah. Because both the JDU as well as the RJD have weakened over the past 5 years, and both the leaders have also weakened, I would say, because Tejaswi has been weakened by Prashant Kishore constantly raising his educational status, and he has lost some support amongst the youth. And Nitish, of course, the fatigue factor is working against him.
Yeah.
So that's complicated the matters for Mahagathbandhan.
You know, we'll talk about that also in just a bit. Just opening remarks from Ashutosh on what's happening really in the Mahagathbandhan. It's not a good look for the alliance, Ashutosh, that just about 48 hours to go for the deadline to file nominations for phase 1, and you still don't have a formula that's been publicly announced. And the question everyone's asking is, what's stopping a Tejaswi Yadav and Rahul Gandhi from getting on the phone, speaking to each other and ironing all of this out? Ashutosh, you're on mute.
See, Akshita, we have to understand that the coalition politics by nature is full of contradictions and it's uncertain. To imagine that they will sort out all kinds of differences and there will be no difference of opinion between the alliance partners is something which is not expected. In my opinion, I think there is hardly any difference between the RJD in the Congress or in the left alliance, because they have contested elections in the past also. They are good and trusted alliance partners. What has complicated, I agree with Amitabh ji, that Sahni's entry has really complicated, and Sahni is something which is not trustworthy, and in fact, people have asked questions in the past that whether you will switch to NDA or how long you will continue in this Mahagathbandhan alliance. And he has never given a straight answers that whether he'll continue with Mahagathbandhan or he will switch to the NDA. In fact, he had gone to the extent of saying that 60% or 70% with Mahagathbandhan. So there's always a scope for them. In terms of Rahul Gandhi and the Tejaswi Yadav, I don't see any problem at all, because Rahul Gandhi, Tejaswi Yadav, they are in the best of relationship with the left also. Now the issue is how many seats they can afford to give to Sahni, that is the VIP. He's expecting something around 30 seats, which is completely unacceptable, and he will not get that kind of seat. So maybe he can get something around 10 seats or 11 seats or then 13 seats. So that should be the trouble spot. Yeah. I don't see any trouble between RJD, between Congress and the left, in my opinion.
Our sources tell us it could be about 16, but that's something clearly the Mukesh Sahni has said is unacceptable for him. So the next 24 hours, Rohit tells us, we could see some dramatic twists and turns. We'll wait for that. Let's focus on the NDA right now, where you had, in fact, the BJP announcing the candidates for 71 seats. The point that you made, Amitabh Tiwari, about how, the national parties are now coming to the fore in Bihar, very, very evident in the NDA seat sharing pact. The fact that you have the BJP and JDU with 101 seats each. The JDU also reportedly had several objections to 29 going Chirag Paswan's way, but it looks like on that front also the JDU has kind of been assuaged, and there's no point really in changing those numbers. So in that sense, if you look at the NDA seat sharing deal, the biggest takeaway seems to be that the BJP's had it their way.
Yeah, essentially, so we have been debating as to whether the BJP has emerged as the bigger brother of the alliance, or it will emerge as the bigger brother after the election results, when if it gets more seats, then it can clearly be the bigger brother. However, the seat sharing shows that if not the bigger brother, there are now both JDU and BJP are now the equal partners, with clearly JDU being the elder brother for such a long time now, for almost 20 years now in this alliance. Clearly, with Nitish Kumar's party weakening in terms of seat tally in 2020 Vidhan Sabha elections, that has given BJP an entry point. So even if you see the ministerial distribution or the cabinet distribution, it is largely in proportion to the MLAs. Here again, I wouldn't say everything is hunky-dory.
Yeah, very true.
There are issues with respect to JDU and LJP. JDU might still not agree to this formula and might still want to contest one or two even symbolically more seats. And the bigger issues will be post the finalization of the candidates, because it clearly shows now that there is a very big risk of vote transfer or a seamless vote transfer between JDU and LJP, because that has never happened in the past. LJP has contested in Lok Sabha elections within NDA, but has sought votes in the name of Prime Minister. Whereas for the first time, it will be seeking votes in the name of the Chief Minister and the Prime Minister combined, correct? And JDU also has not forgotten how LJP wounded JDU badly, and that has also led to the decline of the JDU perhaps in the last 5 years. What people are also missing, and that is also very evident from the statements of Jitin Ram Manji, is that many people are calculating that 142 is of BJP or BJP led allies and 101 is of JDU. However, Manji has come out in support of Nitish, and Manji is largely, you can say, was earlier part of JDU, and Nitish made him the CM when he had resigned from that post. So Hum and RLSP both can easily be considered to be with the JDU in any negotiations going forward. So it's largely 113 for JDU and 130 for BJP going forward in this alliance.
No, but looking at those numbers, Ashutosh, I also tend to question about whether, and politics, of course, is all about, the kind of optics, the messaging that you send out, symbolism. With those numbers that we're putting out on our screens, does that also kind of further weaken and dent Nitish Kumar's image?
See, Akshita, in fact, if you see carefully, the one political party which has been losing ground consistently from 2005 onwards until 2025 is Janata Dal United and Nitish Kumar. In 2005, Janata Dal United contested 139 seats and won 88 seats. In 2010, they contested 141 seats and won 115 seats. From there, the same political party has to contest 101 seats. And how many seats they are going to win is something which has to be seen. BJP has consistently maintained the number of seats it has contested and won. In fact, in 2010, when the Janata Dal United got 22.58% vote share, where the BJP got 16.49%. But in the recent past, if you look at, the BJP has emerged as the biggest political party in Bihar in terms of vote share, and also number 2 party in terms of seat share in 2020 assembly elections. So the BJP has been consistently gaining, not only in terms of vote share, but also in terms of seats, where the Janata Dal has been losing. And today, if you look at, for the first time in 20 years, Nitish Kumar has to come out with these all kinds of
promises,
welfare schemes, which he has never done in the past. So this shows that Nitish Kumar realizes its weaknesses, but whether the Nitish Kumar and the Janata Dal United is in a position to gain as many seats they won in 2005 or in 2010, it's something which has to be seen. And that's why this election will be very, very crucial. If the NDA managed to win election, whether the Nitish Kumar will remain at the helm of affair or not.
In the top boss position that the JDU was in the NDA, that image is eroding. And so that tells you how crucial this particular political battle is for the JDU as well. Not just, of course, to prove themselves on the ground, but to prove within the alliance that they're still a force to reckon with, or they're going to be swallowed up with the BJP gaining more and more in Bihar and trying to essentially be in the commanding position, the boss of the alliance. Ashutosh, Amitabh Tiwari, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining us here on NewsTrack. I'll again remind our viewers that at this point, with just days to go for the deadline of nomination for phase 1, you still don't have a seat sharing deal as far as the mahagathbandhan goes. And even for the NDA, it's not a complete rosy picture. There are still issues that are to be ironed out by the NDA as well. And that tells you that what we're going to be seeing in Bihar in the coming weeks is a very, very interesting political battle. That's all we have time for in this edition of NewsTrack. Thanks very much for tuning in. Good night.
ड्यूलक्स है और उसकी वारंटी तो और भी शानदार, पेंट से भी शानदार वारंटी, से शानदार पेंट से शानदार वारंटी, से शानदार पेंट वारंटी।
ड्यूलक्स, डिसाइड करना मुश्किल हो जाएगा कि पेंट ज्यादा शानदार है या उसकी वारंटी।
Living my best life. Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics. Sansar, a D-Decor brand. Live consciously.
Bliss. It dances on your skin like first rain. Experience bliss in all its forms with Hindware. Hindware, designed for bliss.